Okay. Can you see Notion right now?
Yes.
Cool. So general updates. Next milestone deadline. So since we made the V17, so we postponed it a bit, and that we set it will be March 3rd, which is in roughly 2 weeks. So Monday after the next week. Yeah, the milestone, there are so many tasks, but we're gonna discuss the most important one today. Otherwise, yeah, it's more small things that we might put for the next milestone. The focus for the sprint, so focus for the remaining of the milestone will be to finalize the work on Sana with Core, the initial integration for SWE. Originally, it was not in this milestone, but since we made great progress and it was less complex than what we thought, the idea is to have everything on the blockchain already. So once we want to integrate SWE on testnet, we will be all good. And the version 1 of fast observation. And yeah, so as usual, there might be some incidents, some other things we'll need to put some focus, some priorities on. But these are the main priorities focus for the sprint. And yeah, I'm pretty confident given the progress we made on all of those three the last week that we can complete all of those for the milestone. So that's basically the core. I wanted to go through all of those. So first, start with the core. Yeah, maybe on the local net. So to me, it was unclear. So there was no work started yet for local net with call. Yeah, it's correct. Dennis, so you still working on SPL support?
Yeah, so I haven't started working on withdrawn call for Solana because I focused on Sui. Now that Sui is in better shape, well, it supports deposits and withdrawals. I'm gonna be working on SPL tokens and then withdrawn call. I mean, if anyone from the protocol team, Stefan said he can help with that because Solana is still pretty new to me, so I'm trying to figure out how it all works. But yeah, I think SPL is pretty close because like there isn't much there. Um, but yeah, withdrawing call is probably going to be a bit more complex.
Okay.
Yeah,
But we
I
still,
can help.
Yeah.
Yeah, also Dennis, there is this draft PR. Lucas, if you go back to the PR list with Radium integration, so yeah, maybe we can sync to integrate something similar to the local net. But yeah, let's sync of the call.
yeah, the basic example, like the most straightforward example, would be just a example program on Solana that we add to example contracts that just emits an event whenever called. Like if we get if we get to this point, that would be awesome, and then we can kind of go from there.
Yeah. So there are like basic examples, not in this PR, but it will be merged to the main branch soon with the tests and everything. So should not be that complex, I hope.
Cool.
So Radium, you have a full. It's the entire Radium contractual locally. I think it's nice example to have. Okay. Sounds good. And so for that kind of implementation, we have this one that adds the revert handling. It's basically the last part, right, Stefan? Or is there anything else on the client side?
No, that should be the last. I see there are some comments. I will check, and then I will add the unit tests in separate PR. But that will be done until end of the week.
Okay. Good. Can you try to put this one up to date, the tracker we have, because they're all opened since, well, we made a lot of progress on this one call. I think some can
Okay.
already be closed.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take a look.
Yeah, and yeah, my comment was we should have some external builders already using it, but we might want to wait for local net implementation first. And yeah, finally, one thing ideally we should have for the release, it's supporting upgrades test. So since with the Wizard Core, we're gonna make a upgrade of Solana Gateway, and so that would be ideal to test it locally. Yeah, you have up here. So you just open it standard, right?
Yeah, I just opened it. So this tests the upgrade, and it also has like a Solana program, which is like an updated version of Gateway, and it verifies that the upgrade goes through. Yeah, just have a look. Alex already commented something which we can probably improve, but this test works for now, and it also updates the PDA derived from the seed meta. So I see that's also part of a different task. So this should test that as well, like updating the PDA associated with a particular seed.
Okay. Cool. We'll take a look. And so to me, it seems less complex than what I thought. So if you have more time before the end of the milestone, maybe we could discuss if there are other tests for Solana we could think about to increase the coverage for withdrawing call.
Yeah, sure. The upgrade itself is straightforward. It's just the deploy command. The main problem that I faced was like replicating the Rust CLI code into Golang, but at the end I decided to use the Solana CLI itself, which is robust and it's already tested.
Okay. Sounds good. So it seems going it's on a good track. Stefan, is there anything you would see eventually something that could prevent us to complete it by the end of next week?
Yeah, nothing at the moment. Yeah, if something pops up, I will keep you updated. But at the moment, seems
Okay. For the reverts, so the workflow, we're good on that. So you simulate first transaction, then you increase the nodes manually. Yeah, we might want to do some live testing once it's implemented, right?
yeah.
Okay, so regarding Solana Quick, I did add verified builds to the CI. So next time we go to upgrade the program, please make sure you use that one so we can verify the contract on SolScan.
Okay. Next up, Sui integration. Yeah, local net. I guess we all good. So yeah, Dennis, you were talking about example contracts, but I think we can wait first on Solana. Maybe, yeah. Is there
Yeah.
anything still logging on local net, or we are good?
So there's an open PR for Sui to, well, with some tweaks, but basically deposit and call, withdraw, revert handling works. Withdraw and call, not yet. Haven't worked on that. For an example contract, what we're going to need is essentially implement the system where we clone the contract and all that. Because you can only do deposit and call, and like an example would be to deposit and call from a SUI contract to a contract on ZetaChain. And for that, we need be able to call a gateway from a contract. So right now, the only example we can provide is basically just calling SUI gateway as you would on a front end from TypeScript, which is then going to call a swap contract and swap to Solana or EVM on localnet.
Okay. Sounds good. And on the client, Dimitri, so you merge the deposit and call, and right now you're working on withdraw, right?
Yeah. So basically, right now I'm working on withdrawal part. In particular, looking how it works from SUI standpoint. Like we have local test directory in SUI gateway implementation and trying to port that into ZetaChain, and all of the wiring required to support this. And right now, like frankly, right now I'm revisiting how protocol gateway SUI works and trying to do some refactoring there. Also, I want to make sure that it's possible to run SUI localnet after test finish to explore things via API. But like when developing withdrawals, I query API kind of frequently, and as far as I know, we only have like 10 minutes of lifespan of SUI localhost. But yeah, doing some refactoring chores in SUI gateway code base, and at the same time researching how we can implement withdrawals. Because as you mentioned today, like we have package ID, gateway object ID, and other stuff. Like I'm not fully yet there regarding some KVs and like things that are relevant particular to SUI, but I don't see any blockers there. It's just like a question of time. Hope to open withdrawals PR by the end of this week. And then I'm going to proceed to end-to-end test because they also require some wiring. I know that we have localnet in Node repo, but here we need to have some basics like gateway deployment, faucets, like basically all.
Yeah. Yeah. That's actually
the
something I want to ask.
gateway deployment and the faucet side are wired up, so SUI comes with a built-in
Oh.
faucet. You can just like call. It's like on a separate
okay.
API port on the local net container.
Cool.
Dimitri, we will already start working on the end-to-end tests in parallel, right? If someone look into it.
Yeah, that would be
for deposit and call.
Yeah. If someone can work concurrently, yeah, that would be cool.
Yeah, I had basically stopped because I didn't really know how we wanted to handle the gateway ID or the program ID, object ID thing, whether we wanted to just like put both of those fields into the gateway field on chain params.
That's a good question. Like for deposit and call, you don't need gateway object ID, you only need package ID.
Yeah.
But for the latter, yeah, I was wondering whether it's possible to implement some like query functions like getters inside a package to obtain all things on chain. Because otherwise we either need to have like a constant or config or query deployment transaction that might be pruned due to archiving of full nodes if we're not using archival ones. So that's a good question. I have not still figured out what's the best and the easiest way.
Yeah. I think could be possible because the gateway object, there is single object, so there's just one object created when you initialize the package. So I might guess maybe they have a API to guess all objects of a specific type. And so for the gateway object, you would have a single object because there's a single one created. So yeah, that might be something to explore. I think that would be best to keep the chain params as simple as possible.
Yeah,
Since we
yeah,
need to
definitely.
update, yeah.
Also,
But yeah,
one
for
thing,
deposits,
yeah, sorry, go ahead.
For deposit, we can already do it just the package ID basically. But I can look for deposit into test this week.
Cool. And another question that I had, probably I will figure this out by myself, but if someone can answer, it would be great to save some time. Like we have like in SUI, there's like a thing called capabilities, right? It's basically object that grants you some permission. And looking at localnet, I mean like local test within SUI protocol repo, like this withdraw capability belongs to the deployer, but we need this to be belong to like TSS. How would this
Yeah,
work?
it's trivial. It's NFT. If you take the 3 wallets,
I
the
mean, like
objects they
we
basically
need to manually
natively.
transfer this, right?
Yeah, but it's very easy. Like when you create objects in Sui, it's natively displayed in the wallet. So this one actually, I think it's actually the gateway on testnet. Yeah, you have the wireless cap, for example. It's just here, and I think they have something to. Yeah, you can directly transfer it like that. So it's just gonna be one instruction in the playbook that would be very easy to do.
Okay, like so technically this object should belong to TSS because as far as I get, we derive TSS wallet on SUI from ECDSA signature that it basically mimics TSS.
Yeah.
Okay.
We
Okay.
deploy the gateway, so the cap NFT is minted in the deployer, and you just send it to TSS.
Okay. Got it. So yeah, just need some more time on this.
Yeah. That's what I like with Swiss, apparently. Okay. Yeah, I think we can follow up end of this week, but so should be good, I think, for this milestone. I don't think there are many changes to do on chain, so we should have a look around that.
Okay.
Before we move on to fast, I mean, we're finished on Sui, right?
I mean, yeah, do you have something else?
Yeah, we have a PR open by Panru, and there is a discussion going on there. And I just want to know, just wanted to quickly kind of discuss this because the way it's implemented,
For
sorry? Yeah, it's in the
Sui?
SUI protocol contracts, the withdraw and call PR.
Yeah.
Basically, the way it's implemented in this PR is super flexible, very nice, but at the same time, um, it requires a client, like a front-end client, to create a whole transaction. And the problem with that is that a universal contract in that scenario doesn't really have any role in this. It just relays transactions. It can't create a transaction. It can only take something that a client submitted and broadcasted it to SUI. So, from what I understand, it can't even replace a value. So you could imagine like creating a transaction template, so to speak, right? And then a universal contract would replace the value, but I don't think that's even possible. So I was just wondering if there, and this to me this looks like an arbitrary call sort of system where you can call any contract like no limitations, very flexible. But I was just wondering if it's possible in SUI um, to call a contract that you select, right? Like you pass a SUI contract address to the gateway withdrawn call, and you pass a message in bytes, right? The same way you do right now for TVM
You
chains.
can't.
So there's just
Yeah, I mean, it's not in the call, by the way. Something here, okay. No, but yes, with the issue is that it's typed, only typed. Like I don't have all the context, but you can do something similar to Ethereum where you can represent smart contract call just with data basically that you would pass.
but I mean the on-call function on SUI is gonna be the same. You still can't call it.
On call, like it would be different. You couldn't make general on call because it would be different for every usages. Like depending on the object that you would use, the on call would have a different interface. But maybe like we could restrict. I need to check. I haven't had a look into it, but maybe you could have some restriction, like only function on call can be called, but you have flexibility on the object that you pass to the on call. Yeah, I need to have more look into it. Yeah, it's just Wizard Call wasn't like part of the master, but yeah, if there are some consideration to settle, yeah, it's better we do it early. So we'll read. Yeah, we'll have a look at the peer. But yeah, it's the demonstration will be different for sure from EVM and Solana as well.
Okay. Yeah, because right now I don't really like see what a universal contract can really do on SUI. Like it cannot decide to do something. It just can relay the data that it was passed.
I mean, ideally, you are able to pass the assets that you're withdrawing. So there are some use cases where you would call DEX to swap the token that you're withdrawing. I don't know. But yeah, it's also something we'll have to review security-wise, because if you can provide any object, that's also very risky, usually from the TSS. Yeah. Yeah, with Johnny Core, I think should put more focus once we're good on the deposition call. Right, moving on, fast observation. Any updates you can give on that, Charlie?
Yeah, so like basically all the preparation PRs are done, mostly other changes for Zeta call. And then right now I'm started the work in a Zeta client, like create a function to decide which are the inbounds that's eligible for fast inbound observation, which are not. And I noticed that only that the V2 only V2 is eligible for doing the fast observation because it's quite explicit. For V1, it can be message passing or deposit and call or anything. So that makes the work easier. Also, for this open task, we all have the agreement on that. We should use some like a static number, like threshold or percentage for the fast confirmation, and then we'll just follow this solution. It's also a on-chain basis.
Okay. Can you put just summary on Stack for the solution with the number? Like we use the liquidity cap. What is the percentage? So we just sure before we start, we're gonna need that. We're on the same page.
Okay. Yeah. I'll just, let me create those numbers and the static numbers in a draft PR, so you guys can see it before implementation.
Okay. Yeah. Charlie, the other Charlie, you were part of the discussion. Are you good on that?
Yeah, that seems fine to me.
Cool. And are you confident that you can complete this by the end of next week?
Yeah, I think
The entire.
very optimistic.
Okay. And this one, that's the actual implementation, I think. Cool. And about workflow, it's mostly completed. The one that we merge, it's under review because there are a lot of changes in the workflow for question action. Okay. Yeah, there are small tasks we'll finish this week, but yeah, it should be easy to review. That most of the work is done. So on our boards, yeah, you already implemented on our board workflow on local net Denis, right?
Yeah,
There's nothing.
yeah, it's been released. It's working fine.
Cool. So that's yeah, those are many picks for the milestone. Is there anything else that you think we should work on? And also this question to you, Charlie McCowan. So there were important stuff that we merge, like separating the chain params, having message to update non-sensitive chain params. So operational, that's been completed. We also have the message to rename the ZR3 that's complete, so we will be able to do it after the upgrade. Yeah, is there anything else from you or DevOps you think we should take a look at?
Those two are the main ones. It would be nice right there, enable precompiles in universal staking in testnet, or at least precompiles. It'd be good to be able to actually get that out there so people could try and play around with it if they wanted to. Because we have it, we just haven't released it on testnet yet or mainnet.
Yeah. It's trivial, but like it's trivial if you do a different binary, which I don't really like having different binary compared to testnet mainnet.
Agreed.
Because it's like it's specific parts in the repo. It's here. It's just this that you need to turn on. But yeah, it's just by different binary. It's not like we can't manage it with parameters like modules. We could implement something, but that might be non-trivial.
Well, let's hold it for now then. The plan still, I got to arrange it still, but to do another like large scale competitive audit, and we'll include this in the scope for that. And then we can release it after that.
Okay. Yeah, there already been first round of review from Bernd, but didn't have time to look at all the feedbacks for now. I think he had a lot of feedback, so there might be different things to fix here.
Okay. I don't know if any of the other SRE DevOps guys have anything to add. My only other one is like just reviewing the bugs. I know we report some. Some are ones we need to get fixed. Some are a little more challenging. Like the HTTP error code one. I'm not sure the best way to replicate that.
Which one?
Oh, there's the
3328, I think that is.
Yeah, 3328. It came up once, it stopped. It's something that would be nice to fix, just so if we have RPC issues in the future. Yeah.
Okay.
But just reviewing the bugs in general, because I think sometimes they get forgotten about.
Yeah, I mean, all right, I always had the point for the call,
Okay.
but yeah, for the release, I mean, I said like there are the three main points that would be great to have it completed for the milestone. But for now, from what I've seen, like we're on a good track for most of this, so we might have some bandwidth to spend on.
Yeah, the only other one, there'll be a new issue added about the issues we're having with the problems we're having with Arbitrum, and potentially disabling the being able to send to the TSS address on specific chains. I don't think an issue's been added yet. Chris is going to add one soon.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, as we discussed, I think that's the best way to move forward. If you don't have like advantages with the fees, it's better just using Gateway to send the funds. Well, and yeah, this one just been open, and I will take a look. Otherwise, yeah, is there other bugs we need to talk about? And there's this one. You had looked at me for keeping like the non-observed inbound longer, keeping the ballot for non-observed inbound longer in the store.
Yeah. So we can increase the maturity period to keep the ballots longer, but if we do that, like I mentioned here, the number of ballots that we are keeping in the state increases, and then that reduces the effectiveness of the list ballots query. Because again, like if we have that, we'll be going through like pages of ballots again.
That's just for missed one, so there's not many.
So right now we just have one counter which deletes ballots. We don't have like a separate counter for missed and non-missed ballots. Is that what you're saying? Like to add one more counter?
I think that's trivial. Like you just check if it's the ballot. You can check if it's finalized, something like that. If it's done, but you use different counter.
Yeah, I think but that would be, yeah, we can add that into the next release if that's needed.
Yeah, put in the mason. If you can check this week.
Okay.
To do that, yeah. Yeah, I think we had some cases of missing bonds for base because of this, and since we had more fast CVM chain, that would be great to combat this one, yeah, for the release.
Okay.
Yeah. Other than that, I think there's anything special. So one in my son. We have some bit we'll have a look into. Yeah. So the next call might be not Twitter, on X. So you tested it, Denis? Right? It's like just joining Google Meet, something like that.
Yeah, it's not exactly on X. It's just a service where yeah, it's exactly like Google Meet. So you follow a link, type in your name, press join, and you're in a call, and that's it.
Okay, but so there is there is like the what you call that the chat on X.
Yeah, so it's automatically broadcasted to X, and optionally YouTube, and saved as a video file. It's gonna
Okay.
streamline this process instead of doing it on Discord, and we'll hook up the X chat into the service as well. So like if people have questions, they will show up so we can address them. I mean, it's probably not relevant for the protocol call because we don't really do Q&A here, but still.
Mhm.
And what's the difference between this very service and hosting a meeting directly on X in our
Well,
particular case?
yeah, right now you kind of have to manually record Discord because Discord doesn't allow recording video, so you have to have a separate app and then upload it, and you can't upload a video file to X. It's basically like a live thing. So this
Okay.
call would be broadcasted live rather than recording.
Okay.
I mean, there are no downsides. It's like the same, I mean, a very similar UI to Google Meet. So it's just a call.
But like from the user perspective, user would think that we simply have direct live X conversation, right? Like X Spaces.
Yeah, like right now it would be on X. So as we speak, it's on X and people can join and kind of watch and
Okay.
comment. And we're going to be using this for dev office hours as well because Discord is not that popular. So the most of the viewers are on X. So in any case, we're going to try it and see how it goes. Like if it doesn't work, then we'll figure something out.
Yeah, sounds good. All right, anything else?
Quick question regarding Tony testnet integration. Did anything required from my side this week?
Sorry, what was the question?
Like the question, do we need anything from like protocol team, from like cluster E, the protocol
Sorry,
team regarding Tony integration?
Yeah. So sorry, not yet. We prioritize the Arbitrum and Avalanche chain integrations to get those
Okay,
into the net.
got it.
So we haven't spun up the node yet. That's still on my to-do list. But yeah, so for context, once Arbitrum and Avalanche are done and we've handed them off to like BD and product, then we'll begin work on the ton testnet integration from like the SRE team.
Okay. Tell me if you need any help.
Yeah, we'll do. Thanks, Dimitri.
We have a playbook, but it's not complete. Maybe you could have a look, Dimitri, if you have time. So
Okay,
ideally,
I'll take a look.
yeah, you just put the instruction to deploy the gateway. Yeah. Well, I think that's it. Thank you, everyone. It was a good week. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye.
you. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.